welcome to our YouTube channel Story Explorer. I am your host Tamojit Chatterjee. So friends, there was a long time I uploaded a video. A big project is coming out, friends. Stay tuned. So now let's start our story. The name of the story is Wolf Children by Mike Samuda. This is the part 1 of the story. Stay tuned for part 2. And now let's start the story. 6 men sat on a wooden hunting platform. The platform had been hastily built during the heat of the day. Now, in the gathering twilight, the men knew that their long wait would be soon over. Below them, some 30 meters away, stood a giant ant hill. It was on this that the men's attention was focused. One of the men licked his lips nervously. The anthill, he knew, had long ago been abandoned by ants. Now it was simply a hollow shell cave. Inside there lived jungle demons. Sunset was the time for the demons to appear. It was on 9 October 1920. Everyone in the Indian village of Godamuri knew about the jungle demons. They heard their howls and their strange yelping cries. Several people had actually seen the demons. They were, in appearance, half human, half animal. The superstitions would be no longer venture into the forest for fear of them. The forest was bathed in a deep red glow from the setting of the sun. The first large fruit bats slapped past the waiting men. Suddenly, there was a movement in the narrow entrance of the anthill. The men on the platform stiffened. One of them drew in his breath sharply, while another tightened his grip of the stock of his rifle. Something was coming out of the anthill. It was a fully grown wolf. Behind it came a second wolf, and then 2 small cubs. Then it was the demon. Just as the villagers had said, half human and half animal. The demon was followed by a second monster, much smaller than the first. Both the creatures had matted hair, which covered their faces, and both walked on all fours. They looked around cautiously before bounding after the wolves. The 6 men reacted in different ways. 2 aimed their rifles at the strange creatures. One quickly signaled them not to shoot. Then he began to write in his notebook. One man, too frightened to look, buried his face in his hands. The rest started in disbelief, so that the stories were true. They had seen the monsters for themselves. The man with the notebook was Reverend Singh. As a priest in the village of Godamuri, he had listened to the tales and chatter about the demons, and had been determined to prove that the stories were nonsense. So it had taken a good deal of persuasion to find men who would take him to the demon's lair and wait him while he observed for himself. Back at Godamuri, the Reverend Singh ignored the excited talk of his 5 companions and read through the notes he had scribbled at the time. The creatures were hideous beings. He had written both of them ran on all fours. One he had put hand, foot, and body like a human being. But the head was a big ball of something covering the shoulders. He was convinced, however, that the creatures were not demons. What he felt sure he had seen were two children, about 4 or 5 years old. From the way the children had moved, Singh believed that they had been living with the wolves for a long time. He had no doubt about what he should do next. He must rescue them. He didn't even consider leaving them to go on living as wild animals. The next day he tried to form a rescue party from among the men of the village. None of them would help him capture the wolf children. They still believed that the creatures were evil spirits. Reverend Singh was forced to seek help from another village, 7 miles away. A week later, the hunting party advanced. On the lair, as they neared the anthill, they spread out in a circle. They moved cautiously, beating the ground in front of them. The advance frightened many smaller animals into the open, but no wolves appeared. Reverend Singh moved towards the mound. He ordered 2 men to start digging at the entrance. They began to hack the ground nervously. Singh assured them there were no demons, but this was a little comfort. They knew well enough that there were 2 wolves inside. At any moment, they expected an angry wolf to emerge. Then a wolf did spring out of the lair. The digger jumped back as it ran off into the thick undergrowth. Nobody tried to stop its escape. In fact, some of the men, frightened at the sudden appearance of the animal, began to run away. Singh began to shout at the fleeing men, but stopped. Another wolf has emerged. This was the she-wolf. Courageously trying to defend her young, she arched her back and bared her teeth, but before Singh could give any order, some of the men shot several arrows at her. Singh watched the animal roll over in agony. He felt bitter and angry with himself. He had not intended to kill any one of the wolves. Now he snatched up a spade and dug furiously into the anthill. So today till here, friends. I hope you liked this story. If you like this story, please like the video, subscribe my channel. So till then, goodbye friends.